All right, Whitlock, do you lose any respect for Harden in the series?
Yes, and that's saying something because I told y'all yesterday he wouldn't be any good in this game and that he didn't deserve the MVP. And there was not one. I have no personal problem with James Harden. There was not 1 minute during that game where I was like, oh, man, he looks like the MVP. Not 1 minute. There wasn't a minute where his impact on the game was so significant that I could say, oh, okay, I can see how he's a cut below LeBron or Kevin Durant or Steph Curry. I didn't see any of that.
I see the first quarter, the way he started, 4 for 5 from the field, got to the free throw line.
Knew it wasn't going to last.
By the way,
knew it wasn't going to last.
Nobody would deny this.
Right.
Steph Curry, of all the guards, was the best guard over 7 games. He was the most influential.
Wait a minute, hold on.
You don't think so?
Well, the first two games were like, is he hurt? He can't hit nothing.
Yeah, but the last 5.
Okay, he got better.
Well,
almost had a triple-double last night. That was impressive.
I mean, honestly, I can make the argument.
But
Harden
Chris
was
Paul
the third
was the best guard in this series.
Okay,
right. Let's
so
be
if
honest.
he's one,
yes,
and I would take Curry too. Harden was the third best guard in the series. Guard.
No,
I mean,
put
come
Clay
on.
in there.
Right,
See,
Clay.
I wasn't.
Clay was nice.
I'm not going to say
So
that
maybe
I
the
was
fourth. They're
disappointed.
arguing he's the fourth best.
Well,
but he's the MVP.
Well, I wouldn't say my ideals didn't change on James Harden because I always put him in the box anyway. I already knew what kind of player he was, so my expectation level.
You didn't think much of him.
No, I didn't say not think too much of him, but I didn't put him. See, everybody wants to compare and say you're MVP. You got to do what LeBron does. That's impossible.
Right.
He can't lead the Houston team like LeBron can lead the Cleveland team. You're in the fourth quarter, and throughout the series, you shoot 38%. And I'm gonna put a lot of that not only on James Harden. And Jed, you understand this? Okay. It goes back to coaching too. Okay, D'Antoni.
Bingo.
D'Antoni.
Oh, blow
I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you give a player a little bit of rope, they're gonna take all of it. Okay. You got to know as a coach when something is not working to dial it back in. They say, well, you can't change the way you play. Yes, you can. You know what? Run the pick and roll a lot more with Capella. Yep. Now you're getting lobs to the basket.
Exactly.
Now James Harden get to the basket, and you're not relying on your three-point shot. So to me, it's a combination of James Harden was where he was he's at where I thought he was going to be, but also it goes back to, again, D'Antoni and situations, ego, not making the adjustments for the Rockets to be successful.
Got an analogy you'll love. You're going to love this. Mike D'Antoni, these guys, Jim knows a little football. You know a little football. Mike D'Antoni is Mouse Davis. It's the run and shoot offense.
Right.
That's all a nice little gimmick. The Houston Gamblers, the USFL. Then I think the Houston Oilers picked it up. And it's a nice little regular season gimmick. Everybody's going to put up Hall of Fame numbers. And comes the postseason. And to me, the NBA has the biggest disparity between regular season intensity and playoff intensity.
True.
And once you put that playoff intensity on Mike D'Antoni's little run and shoot offense, it's the run and poop.
Wow.
You know what? I think you're being way too hard. Okay, I'll give you an analogy. I'll give you an analogy.
All right.
Okay? Is that there's a reason convertible sports cars are pretty much 6 months cars. It's called winter. If there was no winter, we'd all have convertibles. Outside of Florida, California, there's a reason. There's a reason James Harden got worse in every round of these playoffs. The NBA's winter is officiating. In every round, officials don't give you the bump and the nudge and the whistle and the call. James Harden is less efficient in every round. That's not a coincidence. The reality is, and he's going to face this from late May for the rest of his career, his game is built on getting the whistle. He's not the MVP, he's the MFP. He's the most foulable player in the league. They don't give you that foul in May and June.
But Colin, here's the thing, too. It's not just that. It's how he plays. Because his game is not diverse enough. Either it's a layup or it's a three-point shot. Where's the in-between? Where's the post-up? When do you have opportunities to get easy baskets without working so hard? My second year when I played with AI in Philly, one thing I told him was this. I said, listen, man, you play extremely hard, but you can't do that for 48 minutes for X amount of years. You're going to wear yourself out. You got to figure out a way within the game to get easy baskets. You working too hard to score. 25 feet away, you go tire yourself out. That's what James Harden does. All the dribbling, all the stuff. When does he really get easy baskets?
It's like Westbrook. They're very similar. We've seen them both kind of wear out.
But to me, we're too hard on him because, again, what year is he? 7th, 8th year in the league.
But he should know by now.
I mean,
you got to get a
did
mid-range
LeBron
game.
know by now
Yes,
to
he
be-
did.
to take over in his 7th, 8th season?
But he figured out how to get easier baskets. I'm talking about four scores.
Right.
Jet, you know that.
About 7th, 8th year, this is when he figured it out. And to your point about coaching, D'Antoni, you've seen this out of Harden for however long you've watched his career.
Mm-hmm.
It's your job to put him in those positions to be successful, but because of your stubbornness and your system, you won't put him in the post. You won't let him shoot pull-up mid-range jump shots. So it is 2 free throw or a 3. And as you know, I played with James.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he does fatigue out because his usage rate is too high.
Right.
And so Western Conference Finals, we went there. We played against Golden State. That's going to be my second point. But he fatigues out. He has to start this summer to figure out what is LeBron doing? What is Westbrook doing? Those are 2 MVPs that we know for sure they're the most durable players that we've ever seen in our lifetime in the NBA.
He's in his 9th season. We want to be correct on that. And just very quickly, you got a problem with him not shaking hands after the game?
That's a problem for me.
I do, especially Western Conference Finals. They beat you, you had a chance, you should shake their hand.
You can be in your feelings all you want.
Yeah.
But be a man, shake their hand, and be a good sport.
Cowherd, were you impressed by their second half last night?
I got to be honest, not every win blows me away, and I'm not discouraged by every loss. 6'5" P.J. Tucker gave the Warriors fits. I think for right now in the NBA, they're the best collection of offensive talent. Kevin Durant can be invisible at 6'11" defensively. He's supposed to be a rim protector, he's not. P.J. Tucker gave him problems. Houston just missed uncontested shots. Houston was the better team when Chris Paul was healthy, led the series 3-2. I kind of looked at this and I'm like, okay, they're the best team now, but I can't put them in a Showtime Laker. I can't put them with MJ's Bulls. I can't physically put them with the Pistons and the Bad Boys. I can't. I just see them as a wildly gifted offensive team that mentally and physically you can get in their head.
I tend to agree with you. I think last night was a 3-point shooting contest. It was been a great all-star event. And
Wow.
The team, one team has the 3 best shooters in the league, and the other team doesn't. And eventually caught up with Houston. I just wasn't that impressed. And I know Steph thinks they've had some monumental moment. He's acting like they overcame the 3-1 deficit LeBron did against the 73-9 team. That's not what happened. Houston couldn't make any shots.
A lot of them uncontested.
Yeah, and you got a 7-foot guy who can shoot over the top of everybody, and eventually he's going to make shots. And Kevin Durant, and then Steph Curry is clearly one of the most special shooters ever, and Klay Thompson's right there with him. They made more 3-pointers than the other team. That's all that happened.
Boy, Jason Terry.
Did you used to say that about MJ when he used to fade away and he was jumping over everybody?
You're comparing anybody you saw
I'm
out
just
there
saying,
to Michael
because you're
Jordan.
saying you're not impressed because they were just
I was
better
always
than everybody.
impressed with Michael Jordan.
So you're not impressed with these Warriors teams?
Michael Jordan did more than just chuck 3-pointers.
But these are some of the 3 of the greatest shooters our era has ever seen play the game of basketball. Fundamentally, these guys shoot the ball at the highest percentage I've ever seen. They're so efficient, and there's no deficit that they can't overcome, as you've seen in Game 6 and 7.
Tell him, Jet. Tell him.
Don't you
I'm just
think,
saying.
though?
Jet's a shooter. So
No, he likes
loves
to shoot, but
a bunch of shooters.
I think the impression for me is twofold. One, at the beginning of the season, this Golden State team had to fight complacency because of what they've been able to accomplish. So you got to fight that all year of how to get up for each and every game. And Jet, you understand this. And then finally get to the playoffs and you play against a Houston team who's more physical. They wanted a lot more. They put you in situations where you felt uncomfortable. What impressed me wasn't that they won, it's how they won it. It was the ability for them to lock in when they needed to lock in, to make the plays when they wanted to. They were out physical. And keep in mind, we talked about the 3-point shooting. Where Golden State beats you is when KD hits a bunch of 2-point shots. When Steph Curry gets to the basket and makes 2. So while Houston was missing 3-point shots, Golden State was nick and diming you, just like you're doing dominoes. Okay, I may not make a 3 this time, but you miss your 3, I got my 2. I got my 2. Then next thing you know, 2, 3, 4 3-pointers in a row, now the lead is double digits. I think we go away from looking at how Golden State beats you. It's not always from the 3-point line. It's being able to get to the basket and get those easy 2 points.
How could you be impressed when the other team misses 27
I said
straight
impressed
threes?
about how they won it. In regards to, listen, it was times in that game when they turned the basketball over, they looked pathetic. When Draymond Green was turning it over, but then you see a couple occasions when he got in KD's face about not going at it.
Oh, yeah.
And also, to me, this Golden State team is so different. When you put the ball in Steph's hands, that's the difference. You allow KD to run it, things slow down. The minor little adjustments to me, it's not, I picked Golden State to win it anyway. What impressed me was when the team their back is against the wall, how do they respond? That's all we wanted to see.
yeah.
And
In
that's
order
what we
for
saw.
me to be impressed, though, I need more resistance than Houston
Who
offers.
gonna give it to him?
Well, I need more than what Houston.
But who's gonna give it to
They
him?
needed Chris Paul out there. Look, the only person that, to me, Colin nailed it right off the top. The only person I was impressed with was P.J. Tucker.
How?
On both teams.
But what did Tucker do other than game 2 when he had?
I'm talking about even
Let me
just
ask
last
you,
night.
What did he do last night?
If Chris
He
Paul
struggled.
plays in the last 2 games, who wins the series?
Golden State Warriors.
I don't know. I still pick Golden State.
I still
in
go
game,
Golden State,
in
too.
game 7, because I just think that in that situation,
Yep.
Golden State still has 3 of the best players in the game.
That are champions, that have had that experience of being in a situation where it's adverse and they can adapt and adjust. That's what champions do. That's why I had this ring on right here.